This is an orbicular robotic friend, or O.R.F for short.
Suck my dick!
Salutations everyone, this is Razor, your resident best Black Ops emblem maker in the world. That's actually not true, I just made that up, but I'm willing to convince myself as well as you. I made plenty in Black Ops 2, and I'm not stopping here in Black Ops 3. So, as a public service announcement, if you are playing this game and you have not made your own custom emblem, that needs to stop. You may have gone with one of these vanilla emblems the game gives you, which are better than nothing, but a lot of emblems that you do see nowadays look like you gave a 3-year-old a pack of stickers and they went crazy with it. That is unjustifiable. So today we're going to be making an O.R.F from the cartoon X-Ray and Vav. This is going to be a beginner style emblem. I thought I was going to start simplistic and then work our way up to more intermediate and advanced things, but that's always going to change week to week depending on what we're doing. O.R.F, pretty simple. The basic shape, we're just going to start off here with a circle. Now, O.R.F isn't a perfect circle, and you will see many changes being made throughout this video. I don't know what the length is going to be as of yet, but I've had some complaints on my Black Ops 2 videos, of which there's like 40 plus if you want to check those out. All of those emblems are still you're able to do in Black Ops 3 because they didn't give us any new tools. So here's the color scheme for, you're only going to need 3 colors. You're going to need your outline color, and I'll leave the color coding right here. You just press the Y button when you're changing the colors and you get your RGB right here. So get your corresponding color for your outline for the O.R.F face, as well as the red antennae. And yeah, those are the actual colors. You don't have to guess or try to get something really close. Those are the actual colors of O.R.F, so everything's going to be tried and true. So what we're doing here is, after we have the base of O.R.F, and as well as the outline behind it, you can do any of these in any order that you want, because you can always change the layer positioning however you want. We have a ton of layers this time around to mess with, so there's plenty of time, there's plenty of room for mistakes that you can then correct with other layers, whether something's overlapping or something's a little bit messy. There's plenty of layers to clean it up. Like I said, this is beginner level 1. We're not maximizing, we're not optimizing all of our layers, and it also gives us a lot of room for customization once we're done with O.R.F, which you can see at the end of the video. In case you're interested, you can skip to that right now. So right now we are going with the face. O.R.F's face is definitely not perfectly circular. So I took this little buddy right here, using our left and right analog sticks. I'm able to shape it into the shape that I want. Not quite spherical, but it needs to be clean. The number one thing about emblems is, it needs to be unique. Don't do the same thing as everybody else. There's always, whenever a new Call of Duty game comes out, there's like 1 or 2 or 3 emblems that someone makes a YouTube video about that's like, it looks kind of detailed and it's really simple and like everybody does it. Usually it's something like an eyeball or something. It's just really lame. So you want to differentiate yourself, make things that not many other people have, and it has to look good. And with the amount of layers that the game has given us this time around, you have no excuses. So you want to make sure that all of your layers are in the right order, and your positioning is very clean. It's very smooth transition. It may be difficult a little bit to see it. You know, we might want to get a little bit closer to your TV or monitor depending on the size and your distance from your TV or monitor, but you want to make nice, clean, smooth transitions as if this was, you know, done in, you know, Photoshop or Microsoft Paint or what have you, which is pretty easy to do just using your left and right analog sticks. You want to click those in to get in the resize shape, as well as you know, deforming it a little bit to suit our needs. So now that we have the basic shape of O.R.F's face, like I said, this will change as the time goes on. So you might be thinking, that looks a little off, that looks a little off. We clean things up later. Nothing is, you know, set out in stone. It's not like I've made this 10 times and I'm just going through the same process. I make these from scratch every time. I have an idea and I try to execute it. So you really want to just maximize your efficiency. So if you want to stick with the same color, as you see I've been doing here, you just copy and paste, and then you can change the shape to whatever shape that you need. That way you don't have to go with every single individual layer and get the right color that you want. Just copy and paste, it stays the same color, then you can change the shape if that's something you need. So for the outline, you just want to get the right curvature and get the same thickness all around. You can do this with pretty much any shape that you want. I'm just using something nice and, you know, curvy and blobby to just maximize the amount of layers that we use. You know, we don't want to use 1,000 layers. Just get the outlines, which thankfully we can do more of here in Black Ops 3 because of the amount of layers that they've given us. So in Black Ops 2, where we weren't able to do so many outlines, so some things looked off or not as detailed, here we're able to do much more of that. So as you can see, it just depends on the positioning of your layers, deform it to the right size, and just keep it consistent throughout as far as your outline layering goes. So now we're working on the face of O.R.F. We're just going with two pretty simple ovals for the eyes. You can change that if you want. Like I said, there's plenty of creative freedom available to you in this emblem tutorial. The face, we're going with a semicircle, and then we're just trying to shave it just enough to where they're nice, sharp. It's a nice sharp smile. It's not like perfectly symmetrical. You know, nothing about, you know, that O.R.F's art style is perfectly symmetrical unless you're like head on. So O.R.F never looks the same. You can do lots of different things, and it'll still look nice. So now that we have the basic shape and face of O.R.F, we're going to go on with the details of her body. So we're just going to copy and paste and just trying to find the right thickness at the right size. Now this can be quite difficult. They really didn't change the engine or really anything between Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3 Emblem Editor outside of the number of layers. We have the exact same tools as far as shapes go, which is the one thing that we're going to be using because everything else is pretty much useless. With a couple exceptions that are, very rare exceptions. So you want to find the right shape so it can be the right size. Once you minimize your shape enough, it'll stop getting smaller or stop getting thinner. It'll get to a set point that you can't, even if you're changing the size, the thickness isn't going to change because, I don't know, things get really weird when you get really small in this Emblem Editor. Like I said, they haven't changed it. It's exactly the same as Black Ops 2. And for some reason, when you're trying to get a straight line, it doesn't become perfectly straight once you get small enough. So that is, kind of annoying, but, it's something that we've dealt with in the past and will continue to deal with. We have our shadow, which I have the color that you need right there. You can make this, if you don't want to add the shadow, if you feel like, that might be a little bit too complicated or you don't have enough flares to fix it up, that's absolutely fine, but I like to have, the details and make it just as accurate as possible to the actual character. So we're just going to finish up with some of the details here using most of the same shapes, varying the thicknesses and positioning, want to make it as close to our reference as possible. So here is a bit of the cleanup. I didn't like the positioning of the face as well as the overall size of O.R.F because, she's not perfectly circular. So we're just going to make a little bit of changes. Unfortunately, that does mean we have to backtrack and move everything else accordingly. That's especially, annoying with the outlines. So that might be one reason why you may want to skip it or, we make changes. Everything's not going to be, set in stone. And it's, like I said, with the amount of layers that we have, there's plenty of room for mistakes. So now that we have increased the size of O.R.F and cleaned up the face and the eyes and mouth positioning to an extent that we like, we have the antenna. Pretty simple steps, very, very easy to follow. I don't think there was anything too complicated here, and I wanted to make it a nice, easy introductory episode, of which, and once you make one emblem, at an intermediate level, or even close to, you can pretty much do anything else. It's really not that difficult. There is, especially with, like I said, with the amount of layers that we have a lot more freedoms and a lot more things that we couldn't previously in Black Ops 2, but we can still do all of the things that we could do in Black Ops 2. So if you would like to check out the playlist, that will be linked down below. You can make anything that I've already made in Black Ops 2. I have had some complaints that some of those videos were a little bit too fast, which is why this one is a little bit longer. So please give me feedback if this video was too fast or too slow, or any constructive criticism would be great, because I did get a few a couple years ago when Black Ops 2 was a thing. So now that we have O.R.F pretty much finished, yours may look a little bit different. That's perfectly fine. O.R.F is, very modular in the way that she operates. We still have plenty of layers, as you can see, to fool around with, depending on, how many things that you had to fix or clean up. It's the main shape that matters the most, but with the amount of free layers that we have, we can do a little bit of customization. You don't want all of the O.R.Fs to look alike, so we can have O.R.F, give us a nice little greetings. How are you functioning today? We could just, put her name right there. Good old O.R.F. Maybe she's, bitten brain slugged. She's on the Futurama planet. We don't know what O.R.F is up to. It's a crazy robot. We get some flame decals on O.R.F. Make her go faster. That's fantastic. Maybe O.R.F has a superhero job on the side and is joining X-Ray and Vav with, her own secret identity. Gotta keep that shit secret. Maybe you want O.R.F to tell your opponent a little bit about something that, O.R.F might be thinking in such an instance, such as, you suck. Maybe you want a business attire O.R.F. Obviously, this isn't, the appropriate size tie, so maybe you want to make O.R.F a little bit smaller if you want to make her, business casual. But, that's just fine. Or you can have O.R.F quote a movie or hold a gun and have, make my day. That's fantastic. You could have Sheriff O.R.F, ruling the land. Or you can just have O.R.F give your opponent a nice little suggestion on what they can do. Of course, we are not done there. We have to find a player card that we find suitable for O.R.F. And there we have it, the final finished product. Sometimes the emblem will look a little bit different outside of the editor mode. We saw that a lot in Black Ops 2, but I didn't really see any differences here in Black Ops 3 so far from what I've done with O.R.F. And I think it looks pretty good, and I like it. So definitely leave your suggestions on what you would like to see me create next time. If you want me to get more simplistic or more difficult, any medium is fine. Video games, anime, cartoons, sports, what have you. I am all ears and here to please. If you want a cat bug O.R.F, I can do a cat bug O.R.F. So yeah, check out the playlist below if you'd like to see anything that I did in Black Ops 2. All of those are still available, and now even with more detail. So yeah, I definitely like the possibilities that are ahead, and I like having my O.R.F.